Good afternoon and welcome to Yggdrasil Gardens. I'm your host, Chance Walton. Today I have something new for you. Y'all used to seeing my other products that I push that I'm a brand ambassador for, but today I have something I was sent actually by the owner of this company. So today I have Hemp Wizard Believe. The scent profile for this is campfire, s'mores, and pine. It was developed as a collaboration with Black Sasquatch, the band. So if y'all have never heard of them, I encourage you to go check them out. Their music is pretty psychedelic rock, really awesome. For today's video, let's talk about several things. Let's talk about setting up a garden temporarily. Our first video, we talked about a permanent watering solution for gardens. This time we're going to talk about a temporary setup. So for a temporary garden, the best thing you can do is lay down your topsoil. Like we said, want to make sure there's not too much forestry in it. And then you want to come over it with some compost / manure. And this is what you'll end up with. Now, as you see, I already have some tomato plants planted. In central Alabama to South Alabama, now and next week are the times you can put tomato plants in the ground. I do not start tomato plants by seed because you're supposed to start them in February indoors. I don't really have a place to start them indoors. So I buy my tomato plants and just transplant them to the ground. Now, if you're going to start things from seed like corn or green beans, this is the time of year to plant your green beans. And I planted mine in here with my strawberry patch. As you can see, I've already thrown out the fertilizer. That's what these green and white pellets are. Over here's my rosemary, and then over here is going to be corn. I've already planted it. It should be popping up probably sometime next week, start sprouting through. But this is a temporary garden. Where I'm at, I probably won't be here for too long, maybe about a year. So this garden doesn't need to last me forever, so there's no need for me to put mulch in the bottom. I just, like I said, 4 bags of topsoil per box. And then I did 1 bag of manure / compost and blended it in really well. Now that manure and compost blend is very important because it introduces a lot of organic material, and you want a lot of organic matter because the plants, they absolutely love it. Gives you a home and puts beneficial microorganisms into the soil. All right, let's talk about pest control now. With pest control, one of the best tactics that I've heard and seen is to take Irish Spring soap. If you have deer and rabbits and chipmunks as a problem, and you can take a cheese grater and grate some Irish Spring soap in and around your boxes. And you can also, for taller plants, you can take a stick, put it in the ground, tie a string to it, and punch a hole through the Irish Spring soap and tie it onto that stick and have it dangle there, because pests and critters, for whatever reason, they do not like the scent of Irish Springs, very specifically. And that'll help with a lot of stuff. Now, when it comes to your plants, like your tomatoes, you want to do some companion planting to to make them taste better. You put basil with your tomato plants, because basil will attract bees that will pollinate your tomato plants for you. You could put rosemary out, as you see that I have done. Rosemary will attract parasitic wasps that will eat things like armyworms, cutworms, other caterpillar type insects of that nature, and that'll help you with pest control. That natural pest control is the best pest control. The less you have to do, the less you have to do yourself with actual pesticides, the better, because nobody wants, let's be honest, nobody wants a bunch of harmful pesticides on their vegetables, their fruits that they're growing. You don't want to risk them being systemic, being absorbed, you picking it, then you're eating something that's toxic. All right. fertilizing, now is the time you might want to do some fertilizer. You can start with some 10-10-10. I did a 25-6-12. That way I shouldn't have to put any more fertilizer down for the rest of the year. That should be good. I went heavy, and it should be locked in the soil for a long while, and it should encourage all my seeds to take off, and is also feed them for a long time to come. That's another benefit of the compost manure mix being in there, is the manure side of it and the compost side of it will have a good bit of nitrogen and phosphorus and potassium. So I really don't need a whole lot of fertilizer to go into this garden. In fact, I might need to come over it with some gypsum to take some of the salts out. But all the nutrients are there. It is set up perfectly, ready to go. All you have to do is transplant or directly sow your seeds straight into the soil. Within about a week to 2 weeks, you should start having plants pop up. But now is the time, if you live in a climate warm enough like central Alabama down to the Gulf Coast, Florida, you can put tomatoes in the ground. I have 1 big tomato plant and 3 cherry tomato plants. 4 strawberry plants. This box, I planted so much corn in this. This is going to be Corn City when it pops up. And then I've got rosemary, and like I said, I've got green beans planted in between the strawberries. So we'll see what this year holds, how many plants take and how many come up, how they do. And from there, we'll get on with our next video next week. Everyone have a great week. Stay safe, stay educated, grow your own food, and we'll catch up with y'all next time.